Welcome to the Money Watch podcast. It's Thursday, April 27th, and we are here trying to help you make better financial decisions, or any financial decision for that matter. If you've got a question, we'd love to hear from you. You go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and we'll get your note. If you'd like to come on the air, you check off the little box below. I am joined, when I say we, I am joined by Mark Talercio, the best executive producer in the world. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Buona mattina, come stai?
Okay, Mark wrote a whole text to me when I'm like, "Good, have fun on your trip," and he writes back in Italian.
I'm at that point.
Yeah, you're psyched. You are psyched. I mean, you were going to Denmark, but okay, wrong language.
Sometimes I have my weekly class with my teacher, and sometimes I walk out of there and it just feels like a complete train wreck. And then I had my class last week, and it's just like I was just firing on all cylinders. It was great.
Yeah, you were. He wrote a full paragraph back in Italian, which I can sort of parse through because I knew kind of what you were saying. And also I have enough Spanish to be dangerous in my life. So I'm looking forward to going out to dinner with you guys. No more French restaurants then, only Italian. You get to order for us.
By the way, in the Times today, Pete Wells is top 100 restaurants in New York City.
Oh boy. The problem with that is that ruins it. That completely ruins it. That makes me nuts. It's like the first time when Barney Greengrass, which is an old-timey deli appetizer kind of place that has like whitefish and smoked salmon, they put it in some guide. And then it was filled with tourists. I could not go back. Terrible. It's terrible. It would be like if Russ and Daughters is in like a guide. It would be awful. It's bad enough how crowded it is. Where do you get bagels down by you?
There's a shop over here called Kozar's. Been here forever.
Oh, Kozar's is opening on my corner, Mark.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that.
Unbelievable. I'm so excited. Okay. Now we're going to talk to somebody who I'm guessing can't get a good bagel in the state where he lives. So, Nick, I'm going to bring you on. Nick, can you get a bagel in Iowa?
We've got a number of local bakeries that have bagels, and we prefer the donuts, the fresh baked donuts, but absolutely.
All right. I'm not throwing shade at Iowa. I want Iowa to be like the star of this. Mark, is Nick our first person joining us on the air from Iowa?
I don't know if he's the first, but he's definitely the first in quite a long time.
All right. So welcome. You're speaking for your state, Nick. Tell us how we can
help. No pressure.
None at all, right? So tell us, how can we help you out?
Well, yeah, I reached out. My wife and I have, it seems like, increasing pressures on our finances. We have 3 little girls. Inflation's eaten into our budget. Just life is getting more expensive. And so I was hoping that I could walk through how we're doing with saving and investing, see if there's maybe any changes we should consider. And then on the months that are a little bit tougher, could we dial back maybe in some areas just to make sure that we're staying on track for our long-term goals.
Absolutely. So, Nick, how old are you?
My wife and I are both 38.
Okay. How old are these 3 little girls?
My 3 girls are 11, 8, and 4.
Tell me about an 11-year-old girl right now. What does that look like? Is it a little scary, or is it like just on the verge of being annoyed with you and rolling their eyeballs? What's going on?
She still likes us.
Oh, amazing.
So I'm enjoying every day. But yeah, it's, kind of miss when they're little, but it's fun to watch them grow up too.
Awesome. That's great. Okay. So do you guys both work out of the house?
We do. We both work full time.
And how much do each of you earn, or together, however you want to tell me?
Together, we make about 110.
Okay.
And then we do have a side hustle that brings in anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 a year, and it's quite variable how much. So some years it's closer to 2, but we've made as much as 10,000 in a year.
Okay. What do you like to count on? Like 5?
Usually I count on 5. I mean, I've even gone lower just because it's so variable.
Okay.
I don't like to go any higher than that, though.
All right. 3 to 5, I'll say. How about that? On the $110,000 that you guys earn, what are you putting away into retirement right now?
So we have a number of accounts. So we both have 403Bs, and we have an employer match pretty generous at both offices or both places that we work. So I'm putting away a total of 15%. That includes the match, and my wife's putting about 12% into hers.
You say 403B. Are you both entitled, or either of you entitled to a pension?
No, we don't have access to those.
Okay. How much money is in the 403Bs right now?
Combined, it's about 130.
Great. That's awesome. Okay. What else you got?
We both have Roth IRAs,
Mm-hmm.
17,000 in the one and 31,000 in the other.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to max out one for sure each year. And then we kind of go month by month on the other one just to see, what we can make work.
Okay. But that's good. That's a good chunk of money you've got saved. That's great. Any other retirement accounts and maybe old ones floating around?
We had a couple of rollover traditional IRAs from previous employment. There's a total of 60,000 in two traditional IRAs, and we're not contributing to those.
Okay. So that's all the retirement stuff?
That's all the retirement stuff. We do have a brokerage account that we're using for a little bit of a mix. We've got about $4,000 in a Vanguard Total Stock Index for a little bit more midterm or long-term needs. But then the rest of it, there's about 27,000 in a mix of the federal money market and some short-term treasury bills.
Is that your emergency reserve fund, basically?
Yep, that's the majority of the emergency reserve. We do have 3 I bonds for a total of 7,500. It seems like everybody was buying them during the pandemic, so I didn't want to miss out.
Oh, you got a little FOMO. I love that. I didn't want to be missing out on something.
I like to learn, so I thought I need to see what this is all about. So, in total, in short-term reserves and emergency funds, there's about 38.5.
Great. That's good. Have you guys saved any money for the girls for education or anything else?
Yeah, we have 529 accounts for each one. There's about 4,000 in each account, and we're putting anywhere from 50 to 100 a month for each one. Months that we have a little bit more, we'll go higher, but at least 50 a month per account.
That's great. And when you look ahead, any idea about whether you might have to take care of parents or any other relatives in your lives, any other dependents that you could imagine?
Not with how the situation looks now, no.
Okay, good. How about a house? You got one?
Yeah, we have one. We have a house that's worth about $350,000. It seems like it's going up and down, but I would say it's safely worth $350,000. We have a 30-year term at 2.375.
Oh my God!
So
2.375. What's the outstanding mortgage amount?
About $265.
Mark, I said it again. I said, oh my God. I meant to say good grief, since people don't like when I say God. Golly, 2.3. That's what happens. That's my initial reaction. Like, wow, that is such a cheap rate.
Yeah, we're not wanting to go anywhere. Mostly, we love our area that we live in, but 2.375 is about as low as you can get on a mortgage. So
it may be the lowest you possibly could have gotten. Really amazing. Do you guys have life insurance?
We do. We both have 500,000 each, and then I have about 210 through work on top of that.
Okay. How about your estate documents?
Yep, they're all in place.
Great. Okay. So really, the issue that you have is that you make $110,000 together, and then you're saving all this money, but then it sort of creates this anxiety because your costs are going up, and it makes you feel a little bit anxious. Is that the right word to say?
Yeah, I'd say some months it just feels, as the kids get older and costs are going up, are we saving enough versus what we're spending? And yeah, I'd say anxious is the way to describe it.
Right. So what do you think, Mark, is the best way to reduce that amount of anxiety that Nick and his wife might be feeling?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out maybe where they can find some extra cash flow. They're both contributing nice amounts to their workplace retirement plans. They try to max out one Roth IRA. I'm not so sure you got to stress about trying to max the second Roth IRA. Maybe let that go.
That's what I would do. I'd wait. I would basically say, I'm not even sure I would. Are you when you say you try to max out one, do you do that like as a monthly contribution, or do you have something else that you use?
Yeah, we have the one set up to just every month, dollar cost average into the index funds we use. And then the other one is set up to do 200 a month.
I wouldn't do that. I'd pull that back. I wouldn't do anything in there right now. I would take a deep breath. And then what I might do is that maybe at the end of the year, if you have a good year with your side hustle, you can top off your other Roth. If you don't have such a great year, maybe you don't. And you need a little breathing room here because it's not fair to yourselves. You're making great financial decisions. You have a very affordable lifestyle. Like, how much money do you think you're spending, you're just the spending, not the saving. What do you think your expenses are on a monthly basis?
Yeah, the last time we were tracking them monthly, it was somewhere between 5,500 to 6,000 a month, including the mortgage and insurance and all of those things.
I mean, I just think that you're driving yourselves a tiny bit crazy. You don't really need to. Like, you're saving a lot of money. You make $110,000 a year together. You're putting a bunch of money into each of those 403B accounts. Do one Roth IRA. I would look at the side hustle. Is it a fun side hustle or is it onerous?
It's more on the fun side. It's not complicated, and it's something that is very flexible.
All right. So in that case, what I would say is, right, maybe we'll put a little to-do in. You sound like a very organized guy, Nick. I don't know what you do for a living, but you sound very organized. So I might put a little to-do in for yourself or pop onto your calendar. December 1, Roth contribution. That's it. See how much money you've got. Maybe you've saved more money. Maybe inflation's come down. Maybe everything's okay. And if you want to top off the Roth because you've got that side hustle income, awesome. And if you have a great year with a side hustle, maybe you say, all right, I'm going to not only top off Roth number 2, but I'm going to put a little extra money in the kids' 529 accounts. And that's it. I don't think that you should make yourselves crazy. You're doing a great job and you're putting a lot of money away. I mean, you really are. Listen, get through this period. The kids are young. There are always going to be costs. I presume these girls hopefully will be able to go to state school. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of good choices close by here.
All right. And if that's the case, then you see where you are then. But there's nothing in this life, in this financial life that you've set up for us that needs any real change. What you just have to do is give yourself a break. You really do.
That's great to hear. Is it okay if I ask a follow-up?
Why not?
With some of the money in the traditional IRAs, would it make sense to look at any conversions to Roth, depending on, that side hustle money at the end of the year, maybe looking at a conversion?
Yes. However, I don't want to soak up your liquidity right now. There's not that much money in those rollovers. You're going to, I presume that, we may have a chance to do that. Maybe if there's but I unless you really felt like flush, I would not do that. Maybe the side hustle all of a sudden is like, you have a great year, maybe, but even then I just would try really hard to cut yourself some slack because you're doing a great job.
I was just, you know how I like to play with my calculator, Jill. I was just running the numbers. I mean, you guys have a great foundation. You have $250,000 saved already. You say you want to work, till 65. Just running those numbers on your current savings rate, you're going to have at least $2.5 million.
How about that? And you're going to have some Social Security. And are you you're both happy and you're like happy workers?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I think you're going to be fine. I really do. And I think that it's worth it for you to just, communicate, play this for your wife and to be, clear, like, hey, we're doing a good job. We don't have to make ourselves crazy. That's actually, there's a fine line. Sometimes I used to say this about even working out, right? There's a fine line between driving yourself crazy and being healthy. Sometimes you sort of are you sort of sway into one or the other. Like yesterday, for some reason, I felt very compelled to do a 90-minute Peloton class, probably more than I needed, frankly, a little bit compulsive on my part. I probably should have done a 60 and I would have felt better today. And for you guys, it would be fine. You may feel like, oh, I'm so satisfied. I topped off all of our Roth IRAs. And 3 months from now, something comes up and you're like, oh, I wish I had that Roth IRA money back. So give yourselves a little bit of grace and give yourselves some options. And I think that you will be happy that you did.
Well, that is so great to hear. I appreciate it.
It is our pleasure. Any other questions, Nick?
No, that's everything today.
All right. If you, like Nick and his wife, are working hard, putting money away, and need a little bit of breathing room, maybe we can grant that for you. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and write out your note. If you want to come on the air, you check off the box. While you're on the website, don't forget you can sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It comes out every single Friday, and you can subscribe to our brand new service. It's called Jill on Money Live. That's where you'll have access to quarterly live webinars and more special content. Don't forget, the book is still for sale, so let's get busy. The Great Money Reset is there for you. It will help you turn chaos into opportunity. If you're making any sort of change in your career or you're contemplating something with a house, you really want to make some big change, I think this is the book that you need. Okay? That's what I would like to say. Mark Talercio is the co-host and executive producer of this program. Karen Kranick is our web queen. We're distributed by Paramount Global. We drop our episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Lift someone up. It will make that person feel good. It will make you feel good. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week.